Yeah, he keeps landing on me. Hi, Lightning. This video is not for YouTube. This is for something else. Oh gosh. Oh, he's crawling on my neck. I like him.
He's gonna burrow in your hair.
I don't mind. Beetles are a symbol of transformation. Did you know? So I've heard. We've been walking on this trail, and obviously we found a nice presence in this valley to hang out in, so we set up here. Right now, Ruby and I are, I guess a simple way to put it is practicing presence. And Ruby's been practicing watching her thoughts and not identifying and attaching to them. And I've been practicing inhabiting my body and the being within me. For many times now, at a lot of different segments in my life, I felt very open and sensitive to all the energy around me. And it's been a gift in a lot of ways, and also it's been a struggle in a lot of ways. And that openness and that sensitiveness, it's an incredible aspect to me, but I've been identifying with it in a lot of ways that have brought me, simply put, pain. See, I haven't been living in my body. I've been living outside my body. And I know that I'm not the only one to have had that experience. This has been my experience since I was a kid, for as long as I could remember. Always detached, numb, outside of everything. And it actually lent itself well to me for a lot of time in my life, because everybody else growing up, everyone was so involved in what they were doing that I could feel that there was this other thing going on, that everyone else had kind of tunnel vision that they weren't necessarily experiencing. And so that was one of the gift aspects to it, is that, you know, since I was a kid, I've been able to see life from a bird's eye perspective. But recently, something has awoken for us. Huh, Ruby?
Yeah.
Something has awoken for us. And it's beautiful. And it's kind of like, you know, a high beam flashlight of consciousness illuminating itself. And the more consciousness illuminates itself, the more is illuminated, the more consciousness there is to continue illuminating that consciousness. And it's this incredible feedback loop that we are experiencing. And for so long, I've referenced things from my past, not so much from the past. For me, I've mostly struggled with always thinking about the future. I know a lot of people experience always thinking about the past, you know, replaying conversations in their head of a conversation they had the day before, repeating all these different ways they would say it, and how much pain they feel from that conversation that happened. For a simple example, is one way that we can reflect on if we're a past thinker. But for me, I spend most of my time focusing on the future and thinking about what I can do right now to achieve what it is that I've always wanted for myself. And I've discovered an interesting thing that I've experienced lots of success in manifesting, is what we call it, manifestation. I've experienced lots of success in being able to manifest things. And not a single thing that I've manifested has actually brought me any sense of what it was that I was looking for. And only confused me more, as in, what is it that I'm looking for? I've been a spiritual seeker for 3 years, and all of a sudden, the consciousness has illuminated itself enough to a point now where it's pretty clear that I'll always be a spiritual seeker until I decide I'm done with the seeking and choose to be, a haver within myself. Seeking, it lends itself to always looking outside of myself for the next thing. What's the next thing, the next thing? And, Ruby and I, we spend a lot of time in the nature, and that's great because we experience a lot of presence that nature emanates, and it helps us to step back a little bit from the madness of needing and always wanting. And I'd say that that's really where the illumination really has mostly ignited, is, having special places that we can be, where we can actually just be here, sitting on this rock, for example. And so that's kind of what our lives are like, and all the other aspects to it, I've realized aren't real. For example, making YouTube videos, running our crystal business, trying to always get to the next place and rushing on the road, trying to get everything set up. Where are we going? What are we doing? And so that's been a lot of our experience too. But I can't say that it has been, because that part's not actually real. That part has been more of an attachment to needing things to be a certain way. And it's that has brought me the most pain in my life. But every once in a while, we have these moments of, I wouldn't say absolute presence, because for me, that presence continues to grow and expand and become deeper and deeper in dimension. So I can't say we've experienced full presence, but we have these moments of deep presence lately. And it's interesting because I've been remembering a lot of stuff. I've been remembering a lot of stuff that I've been through in my life. And, I've remembered certain abuses and traumas that have taken place in the past that I had literally actually repressed and completely forgotten about, which is mind-blowing to me, because now I remember, and I don't see how I could have gone all this time literally never even scratching the surface of any of those things having had happened. And I'm not going to share about those things right now. I'm not going to get into them. But it's difficult to remember, because the more I'm present, the more I actually remember. And there's a lot of depth to it. I've been exploring the layers of remembering within this life experience, but also something that is within and without, above and below. Remembering this kind of sense of who I am. And so a lot of stuff's been coming up, and it's been painful and challenging to all of a sudden remember these things where why am I remembering this? I think I probably suppressed that for a reason. But it's brought great joy as well, because it's helped me to realize that a lot of things that I've been doing in my life, that detaching, living outside of my body, certain needing of things, always needing something outside of myself, being a people pleaser, essentially just molding to what everybody else wants and finding a sense of self in that, in people liking me and feeling like they've gotten something from me, always trying to add value to people. A lot of these things have made themselves known now to me as unconscious cycles playing out. And it's all happened for one simple reason, I forgot. I forgot. And I still haven't remembered all of I am. But there's a beforeness that is here now for me. And all of the difficulties and challenges I've ever experienced in my life have all come from the same thing. I forgot. And all of the people who have unconsciously passed on their traumas to me and others, and this pain and pushing that suffering into others and sharing the same traumas they've been through, it's all because the same thing. They forgot. I forgot. We forgot. But it's easy, actually, to remember. And that's what Ruby and our life is like currently. We are remembering. And it's a lot. The real truth is that I've been projecting myself outside of my body because of certain things that I forgot. Those things happened for me because of the same thing, forgetfulness. And the key is very simple, is remembering. But everything that I've sought outside of myself has actually been feeding the same exact energy loop, the same paradoxical cycle of driving myself deeper and deeper into this tunnel of forgetfulness and burying that remembering with more and more. So it's even more difficult to feel. And what I've been experiencing lately is the simplicity of it all. All the complexities, all the problems, all the issues I've made out to exist aren't real. I've literally been a crazy person, absolutely insane. Like, I've been absolutely nuts. And because I forgot, I actually shared a lot of that craziness and my bonkers with others and integrated that insanity into them as well. And this is exactly what I've also experienced from others happening to me. But projecting myself outside of my body and detaching so deeply is a safety mechanism. But I don't need to be safe from anything because the liberation is right here and right now. And it's within me. That's where I'll remember. I thought that I was meant to detach and push away the body and the mind and all these things and separate from them. But there's this secret, and I don't know why it's become a secret, but it's within every single one of us. And so by actually taking my awareness, which is the flashlight of consciousness, and shining it within me, and feeling my inner being and shining the flashlight on that, the inner being begins to be more and more illuminated, more is remembered. And as that consciousness grows, I have even more consciousness that fuels the flashlight to shine even brighter. And it grows the being and it creates this feedback loop. So there's no experience outside of myself. There's no out-of-body experience. There's no anything actually out there that can remind me of what it is that I've truly been looking to remember. It really is right here, right now. But I can't actually feel my inner being within me when I'm so caught up in always living in my mind. There's this interesting thing. If you go to the grocery store, you can sit there and just be present and watch everybody walking around in the grocery store. Not in a judgmental way, but in an aware way. And you'll see that everybody is very focused and intense. That everybody almost looks kind of upset in certain ways. Even if they look kind of pleased and happy, you can see they're still focused. And you can imagine and see almost this cloud that people are like living in this cloud up here. So they're here, but they're not, because they're completely focused in this cloud of fantasy. Everything they're thinking about, I'm doing this right now, I'm doing that. The narration that's constantly happening, the goals that we have, all of these things. And it's what I've been doing too. I've been lost in the fantasy cloud. And I've been here, I'm 25 years old, biologically speaking, And I've been here for 25 years, but I haven't actually been here probably more than just a few single moments that honestly could probably be counted up to maybe about 20 minutes. So for 20 minutes in 25 years, I've actually been here. And for the rest of it, I've been somewhere else. And that's why I've been so upset. Maybe you can relate, but I've always felt this kind of strange background feeling of feeling like I've been abandoned and like something has been lost. And anyways, I feel that that's where that's come from, is because I forgot. But it's not hard to remember. It actually is just a choice to just choose. I'm done being a seeker. I'm done looking for more outside of myself. And you choose fully with your being to have it within yourself now. And this is something I've heard people talk about. And I tried so hard to understand it, and I didn't understand, and then I thought that I did understand. But all that takes place in the cloud of illusion right here, that fantasy that everybody's so focused on that they're here but they're actually not. That cloud. See, I don't need to understand that everything I've been looking for is within me. Because while I'm busy understanding that, I'm not having it and finding it and being it. And it's right here, literally. And, I don't know. But this is, you know, a day in our lives. And this is what reality is currently like for us. And the more we remember, the more this cloud of hallucination and mental insanity tries to attack, because it's scared, because it knows that it's dying, and that I'm not going to pick it up again, because why would I? I've seen it for what it is, and more than that, aside from all that, I felt within me that that part of me that's seen it for what it is just a new mental cloud. A new identity coming in and saying, yes, I'm here now. I'm no longer crazy. And it's that part of me that says that is the mental crazy cloud. You know, there's nothing to say, there's nothing to understand. And that's the insanity of the last 25 years minus 20 minutes for me. Well, thanks for tuning in, and for, you know, maybe you clicked to watch this because you feel a good resonance with me and we're friends, and you're interested to see what is this random video that isn't like a normal video. I'm not sure why, whatever your reasoning was, but I can't help but feel, aside from my mental crazy cloud trying to understand why you clicked this, that there's a consciousness within you, and you're simply just ready to reflect it back to yourself, and that it has nothing to do with me. It has to do with remembering, and that's what all of us are right now, remembering. That's what we've been doing. So, much love to you guys. I'll see you for the next crystal video. See you soon.